Love Lies Bleeding is a 2024 romantic thriller film directed by Rose Glass from a screenplay she co-wrote with Weronika Tofilska?
Bassinger? Basinger? Basinger? Oh. But now, on to the cancer.
The film stars Kristen Stewart, Ed Harris, and a bunch of other nobodies I didn't bother to look at because they added nothing to the story. So, the film is like I said, a romantic thriller, but the problem is the romance is completely unengaging, and to call it a thriller is being very generous. This movie's boring as hell. So, Kristen, why do I keep getting hired? I suck Stewart. Plays this depressive, unengaged gym owner that, well, I say gym owner, but it's established her dad runs the gym as a sort of a front for his business. There's scenes where she's cleaning out a stuck up toilet, which the director thought was essential for the film. Don't ask me why. I'm not a filmmaker. I'm just some jerk off on YouTube. She's just this depressive, lonely individual that I guess this is supposed to make the audience feel sorry for her, and I did, but it's just not enough for a character. I never got a chance to know what drives this woman, what does she want, and Stewart's performance just adds nothing to this character. If you're perceptive, you'll notice I did not mention the character name that Stewart plays because there's just nothing to the character, and she's the most forgettable part of the movie, and she's the star. So she meets Jackie. She's this aspiring bodybuilder who comes to her gym, and she's hitchhiking to some competition in Las Vegas. Oh, look at that. We have a character who has actual motivation. Huh, that's a rarity in this movie. So they start dating, there's a few awkward sex scenes, and then we meet Kristen Stewart's brother-in-law, who's this just alcoholic wife abuser, and her sister, her only character trait is that she's abused by her husband. It's pretty pointless. So they have like arguments about him, the brother-in-law beating his sister, typical family hijinks, and during an argument, Kristen finds out from her asshole brother-in-law that he had sex with Jackie so that she could get a job at her dad's shooting range, and it begs the question: if he's such an unreliable wife beater, why does she immediately believe him? For all she knows, he's just saying that to get under her skin so he'll shut up about him beating her sister. She confronts Jackie about it, and she admits, yeah, I did sleep with him to get a job, but why do you even care? I didn't even know you then. I didn't know what he was doing. And she says she's mad because, he's a monster. It's like, okay, why are you bringing that up? She already said she didn't know about that. How could she have known about that? She's really mad that she's also mad that she's technically working with her dad, who's a criminal, which is, I gotta say, a little hypocritical since you're running the guy's gym. If you're afraid of your dad, why haven't you, skedaddled years ago? Were you just waiting to find a girlfriend in the meantime? This is what I mean about, her character. It's suggested she wants to get away from her, criminal gangster father, which is, it's understandable. That could be a good basis for a character, but it's so underdeveloped. It's just pointless, dude. Her dad's played by Ed Harris, who, is a very reliable actor. He puts in a pretty good performance. He can be really intimidating when he wants to be. But oh my god, dude, his haircut is just wild. Did you kill your barber's dog or something? Because he fucked you up. I mean, seriously, he looks like Humpty Dumpty in the first Puss in Boots movie. Not to say that Kristen Stewart's hair is much better. She looks like she was actively fist fighting her hairdresser while she was getting her cut.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Get your ass!
So it's revealed that apparently she was made to be a hitman or a hitmam for her dad growing up, and one of the people he made her kill was her mom. Which, okay, that's pretty dark, but it's revealed in this really sloppily done flashback. It's shot in this weird way to make it look, I guess, nightmarish, but it just looks like a really cheap music video. Like, honestly, they probably could have just let that flashback out and have her, like, reveal it in a piece of dialogue or something, because I think, if I remember correctly, there was a scene where Stewart tells Jackie, yeah, my dad made me kill people growing up. I'm a criminal. And yeah, it's so the whole flashback scene was completely pointless. It's like the scene only existed to give her director of photography something to do. Because the movie's shot in this, I don't know how to describe it. I think it's like 38 millimeter. It's made to look like I think it's shot on film, actually. It's made to look like it's older than it is, which is, I guess a cool touch, but it's in service to a story that just has nothing going for it. Like, if you take Pulp Fiction, for example, everything in Pulp Fiction is very tight. You're shown exactly who the characters are, what they want, their motivations, but really the only person with any sort of motivation in this movie is Jackie, the bodybuilder girl, and that eventually goes nowhere. There's no real payoff for that. So, circling back to the whole killing her mom angle, I think it would have been so much more interesting if, like, maybe Stewart's character was, like, say, a Gus Fring sort of thing, where she, like, spends the rest of her life trying to dismantle her dad's criminal operation, like, one step at a time, and, she, complicating everything is the Jackie character. Like, she falls in love with Jackie, and now she starts to wonder, is this whole revenge thing worth it? I kind of want to spend my life with Jackie. It would give the actual romance of the movie a lot more weight, I feel. So eventually, Jackie and Kristen, they're dating again. Everything's going great. There's working out. They're doing steroids. Well, Jackie's doing steroids, and Kristen is supplying her with those steroids. It's kind of tough to root for Kristen in this movie because she has almost no redeeming qualities as a character, and she doesn't do much to get out of her bad situation. So eventually, they get a call that Kristen's sister has been hospitalized because her husband beat her. So she goes to the hospital, but the sister's afraid of him, so she won't press charges against him. So Jackie takes it upon herself to go to the sister's house and violently beat the husband to death because, he's in the drunk tank and he's gonna be let loose. So she beats him to death, and she calls Jackie, and she says, oh my god, we gotta get rid of this body. So they hatch a plan to get rid of the body. They're gonna dump the car in a ravine. So they stuff the car in They stuff the body in the car, and they drive to this ravine in the middle of nowhere. But on the way, Stewart stopped by an ex-girlfriend of hers. She's going, oh my god, ha ha ha! Like, she's established as this drunk, ditzy idiot. So, they get through that. They go to the ravine. They dump the body, which, okay, so you're going to make it look like a car accident because he was, drunk, and, but then the movie really shoots itself in the foot by making Kristen set the car on fire after throwing it in a ravine.
What are you, retarded? So I know you're not retarded, but what are you, Down syndrome?
Kristen, You are in the middle of a desert with a lot of flat open lands. People are going to see smoke, and then they're going to start asking questions. The cops are going to be called. Like, okay, if you're going to involve fire, why not just, toss them in the ravine and go back and burn the sister's house down? Or something that isn't completely idiotic, And you can't rationalize this by saying, oh, it's their first time, they were panicked, they didn't know what they were doing. No, Stewart, she's been established at this point to have a lot of experience killing people and getting rid of bodies without leaving evidence behind. So this is just a completely ridiculous, out-of-character moment. This is what's that term for a movie that only happens because all the characters are idiots? Oh yeah, a comedy of errors. I was blanking on that. So they idiotically set the car on fire after tossing it down the ravine. And of course, practically the next scene is the police seeing the smoke cloud and a corrupt cop going back to her dad and going, there's some smoke and we think your son-in-law has crashed his car, but it's weird because he set himself on fire. And I just have to what the fuck, screenwriter? You can't do that. You can't establish a character to be familiar with committing crime and covering up evidence and then have them make this completely idiotic action like this. But you'll say, oh, well, if they didn't do that, the police, the dirty cop would have never seen the smoke cloud and questioned the father, and then the rest of the plot wouldn't have happened. Okay, if the rest of the plot relies on something so ridiculously idiotic happening, you need a full rewrite. There's just no excuse for this. There's also these two Fed characters, like federal agents. I think FBI, but they're in this movie here and there. Like, they talk to Kristen, and they talk to the father and a few other people, but there's such a non-entity in this movie. They do precious fuck all. It makes me wonder, why the fuck did you even include them? I feel like that's the worst thing you can do for characters. Include them in a movie and have them not do anything, because these two agent guys could be replaced by houseplants and nothing would change. So they reveal that, oh, you see, your brother-in-law, we let him out because we were able to flip him. He was now a rat, and he was going to inform on your dad for us. And now they've disappeared. Now he's disappeared, so... But nothing really comes of this. It just serves as a cheap way to wrap up tension that isn't there. There's, let's see, what else is there? Oh, right, so after these two chuckle fucks destroyed the evidence and put a big fat target on their back, Kristen tells Jackie, stay in the house, I gotta go do some things. And she goes to see, her ex who saw them. And she's, I guess trying to keep her quiet by, flirting with her or something. It's just really weird. But Jackie is high on steroids or high on murder or something. She's kind of an idiot now in this movie, which frustrated me to no end. She goes to her old gym. She gets pumped up. She does a lot of weightlifting. There's a lot of scenes from her POV where it's all... It's all like her fantasy. She's gonna go to the weightlifting competition. So Kristen comes home later that night and finds out that Jackie went to the gym, and she yells, "Oh my God, Jackie! I can't believe you did this! I can't believe you! Blah 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 blah! Why did you do that?" Blah, blah. And then Jackie just gets tired of her nagging. She leaves the house and goes to Las Vegas for the competition. She goes to the competition. She does really good, but eventually she has a psychotic episode, I guess, and she she throws up everywhere, punches out one of the contestants, and then she gets arrested. So the father finds out about this, I guess, because apparently he has connections wherever the plot needs him to have connections. She pays her bail. He pays her bail, and he has this line. It's like, "Look, I don't know what you think of me. I don't know what you think of me. I don't know what you think you know of me, but I'm gonna protect my daughter. I love my daughter. I'm gonna protect my daughter." So her dad, I guess, found out about Stewart's ex-girlfriends, seeing her that night. So Jackie goes to the ex's house, kills the ex, horrifying Kristen. But I think it was implied that she was gonna shoot Kristen too, but didn't, or something. I don't know. So she shoots the ex-girlfriend, but then she runs away, and then she gets recaptured by the father because, of course, he's the only somewhat competent person in this movie. So Stewart goes to move the body into her house, but she's cleaning up everything, getting rid of the blood, which, water and soap do not erase blood, by the way. That's not going to actually do anything. Eventually, she gets a knock on the door from the corrupt cop who has to finish the job because Jackie's an idiot and everybody in this movie is just a complete moron. She tries to hide the body while he interviews her about the car with the boyfriend in it, and eventually he finally springs a trap on her. He tries to strangle her because her dad told him to kill her. So, of course, he misses every shot because he's an idiot and a stormtrooper. And there's this big fight, and Stewart comes out on top. I think there's a fist fight at one point, which I don't know how he didn't just break her neck with one punch. He looks like he outweighs her by about 100 or so tons. 100 tons, 100 pounds. Yeah. Anyway. Looks like he weighs 3 times as much as her and is about a foot taller than her. She kills the cop and she rolls up his body and her ex's body in a carpet, I guess. And I guess he found out. She calls her dad and she threatens to rat him out and unless she gives her girlfriend back. But her dad doesn't take the bait, so she has to go to her dad's mansion to save Jackie, which I have to wonder why she's even bothering trying to save Jackie at this point, because she's endangered you to no end. She went against your direction to stay in the goddamn house and don't go to that goddamn competition, and then she kills her ex-girlfriend, which, look, I get the ex-girlfriend was kind of a liability, but I don't think that would be enough to justify killing her, because the whole reason you went to her apartment was to, talk her into staying quiet at the night, not to threaten her or anything. But she goes along and she goes to her dad's house. She has a gun with her, I guess, which she never thought about using against her dad sooner. And she threatens to rat him out. She goes to his house to rescue Jackie, and he finds his sister there too. But her sister's protecting the father somehow, and she's like, "Oh, thanks so much for being a sister and being a member of the family," which I guess was supposed to be a real big burn, but I'm just completely checked out at this point. So her dad gets the upper hand on her after she rescues Jackie, and comes the funniest part in the movie, unironically. This got a chuckle out of me. So as the father's about to kill Kristen, Jackie comes back, and Jackie's grown to be a giant. Oh my God. And she steps on her father and crushes him to death. and that's the plot of the movie. The movie ends with them being giants running across clouds and then running away in a car, because I guess the giant thing was a dream sequence, I guess. I don't know. So that was Love Lies Bleeding. What a actual piece of shit. Do not watch this movie. It's a waste of time. Yeah, and that's all I really got to say. This movie's unpleasant. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for me today. My name is Zogrum. I'm trying to make a new YouTube channel. I want to talk about movies, TV shows, and just really whatever's on my mind at the moment. So, if you like the content, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me how I can improve, because I know this video is gonna sound and look pretty amateurish. I'm still working out the kinks. So, yeah, that's gonna do it for me today. Bye bye.